Breathing's like my second favorite pastime. Don't die on me. Hey nerds, Fury Rider. So I just want to start off the video by saying that I am not an expert. I am not an expert mechanic, but today there's going to be an opinions video. And today we're going to be talking about, should you have someone work on your bike or your car? We're going to start with the pros of it. So one of the pros might be is that maybe you don't know anything about cars, motorcycles, and you don't want to break anything, you know? So maybe it would be better to, hypothetically, to take your bike or your car to somebody to work on. Just because, you know, you don't know, you might break something, you might ruin your car. That might cause for more expensive fixes type of thing. Maybe you have some sort of ailment. Maybe you're older. I know plenty of guys that they're like, you know, I'm like 60, 70 years old now. I can't be f***ing around on my car anymore. Can't be rolling under it, giving it oil changes and stuff like that. I have back problems. What the f***? I mean, I guess nice flex, but what a dick move. Age can be a factor. Health ailments. What if you do have back problems, you know? You can't be rolling around under your car or doing this or that type of thing just because you have health issues. And bending over for hours at a time is not going to help you. You know, maybe you don't have tools. That is also another pro. Maybe you don't have the tools. Say you need to drop the tranny on your car or your truck or your SUV down at Bob's Used Cars Auto Sales. Sunday. We got Bigfoot and we got tacos and burritos, and we're gonna be selling every car on the lot. Come down to Bob's Used Car Sales, yay! But yeah, say you're need to drop the transmission or something along those lines. You might not have those tools. And that could possibly be another reason why you go to a mechanic. Or it could be something specifically that you're not comfortable with. Say you are not comfortable with the transmission or the engine, anything like that. Like, you can do little things here and there, but you're just not comfortable messing with those bigger items just because, you know, you may have never rebuilt an engine from the ground up or a transmission, and you don't really want to start because if you ruin something, that's your only mode of transportation. Why ruin it when I can pay somebody to fix it properly? But this is where we're going to go into the cons about it. We're going to go into some cons, brother. That's the thing. Money. One of the biggest reasons why you should work on your own stuff. You know, mechanics are expensive. When it comes to mechanics, I'm not shitting on any of y'all mechanics. I know a lot of mechanics, honest, working people. These people are certified at a lot of places. There are some places, especially here, where it's sketchy as all hell. But if you go to, like, you know, a major chain or something like that, these people are certified. They spent years and years in school learning how to properly fix and maintain engines and, you know, vehicles, automobiles, motorcycles. So they're certified. Now, that doesn't mean that they're always good or that they're always bad. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily mean that because they are certified, they are fantastic techs. But they paid a lot of money to get a good education and how to do things properly. So that's one thing you don't have to worry about on the pros list. But what I'm going to talk about is the cons now. So, as I previously stated, you know, money is a big factor, but so's a lot of other things when it comes to fixing or maintaining your own car or bike, if you should hire somebody to do it. What if that person doesn't know what the f they're doing? Like I said, doesn't necessarily mean just because they are certified that they're gonna know what the hell to do or if they're doing it correctly. And I got a little horror story for you. Had a friend go to a major brand, I'm not gonna say which, to get an oil change. I don't know what the hell they did, but they put the wrong filter on. They like used engine grease as oil, I guess. I don't know. It got so f***ed up, dude, his engine blew up. So that they didn't sue that particular franchise, said, hey, you know, you don't sue, we'll replace the engine. So that's what they did, and they still f***ed it up. And that's just one horror story. I've heard many horror stories of, like, people going in, they're like, I want an oil change. The next thing you know, you go in, they're like, well, your transmission's all f***ed up, and you're like, no, it's not. And that's one thing. And it is expensive, as I previously stated. I'm like choking and dying today. What if they don't know what they're doing? Another reason that it could be a con, and I know it might be a minority, it might be the majority, but a lot of people I know do not take their cars to get fixed by somebody because they are their cars. They know how to work on their cars, or I should say, they specifically don't want anybody else touching their car or motorcycle or truck. Down at Cobb, used cars, trucks, and motorcycles. But they don't want anybody else touching their machine. I know plenty of people, my brother's a mechanic, plenty of people don't want anybody but my brother touching their machine. They're like, I just don't trust anybody but name redacted working on my motorcycle or my car. My brother doesn't really do motorcycles. But he's like, you know, I just don't trust people. I just don't trust anybody else working on my car. And that's just how it do sometimes. But seriously, and when it comes to that stuff, it's kind of like sales when it comes to mechanics. Hey people, what's going on? They were all diners, bro. One big reason why I know people don't let other people work on their cars, just because they're like, I want to know what's being done is being done correctly. So another con is you don't get any experience if you take it to a mechanic. I'm a firm believer, babe, that people should be able to work, maybe not work on, people should be able to maintain their own vehicles. Doesn't necessarily mean that you will, you know, rebuild an engine from the ground up, but you do basic maintenance. You know, like you change fluids, you know how to change oil, you know how to replace a tire, like little things. To more advanced things, like if your starter dies, you can replace your starter. Serpentine belt. Jeez, you know, I never thought I'd say it, but I can't wait to get out of this helmet, because I'm fucking dying, dude. But you know, little things like that I think people should be able to do on their own. So you don't gain any experience if you take it to somebody else. They do all the work for you, so you don't know how to do anything. So that's a big thing. If you don't know how to do any of the work, what's the point? If you have no experience, and no experience is gained. I gotta drink like a fucking cup of water. Like just a whole goddamn glass. So yeah, and I can't talk. Sorry about the weird cut. I don't know what's going on. I was dying. So I mentioned working on your own car or motorcycle. Some of the reasons why you would want to do it. Just specifically because it's your car, you know, don't want anybody else touching it. But that comes in hand with like pride. You will have pride working, and you will care for your vehicle a lot more than if somebody else fixed it. In my humble opinion, and in my case as well. My first car, my brother repaired everything on it. I would break something, he'd repair it. Until eventually I cracked the engine block. My second car, the Jeep that was stolen.
That's so very, very sad.
I fixed everything on it. I did all the maintenance, I did the oil changes. I mean, there were a lot of things my brother did. The alternator went out at one point. My brother replaced that. He taught me how to do an oil change. And the one thing that I do love about that Jeep was that, dude, it was so easy to change the oil. You just reached down once you popped the hood, unscrewed it. Castle Bravo, the F-150, it's kind of a bitch to change the oil. I love changing the oil on this because it's super easy. You're right there, so you're just like, quick, quick. Camera froze again. Oh, dropping my deposit. I was saying that, you know, with my Jeep, my first car, I cracked the engine block. I didn't take care of it. And with my Jeep, I did all the maintenance on it. What do I think you should do? I personally think that everybody, at a minimum, should know how to maintain their car. I got some ideas on how to help you. You're gonna wanna take some of these with a grain of salt. First thing is learning online. You know, you go online, you find tutorials. That's what a lot of people do. When I need something that I gotta fix on my truck or the bike, I go online, I watch YouTube videos, see how they do it. But granted, you're gonna wanna take things with a grain of salt. And you're gonna wanna know certain things too, like the make and model of your car, or even your bike. Like pre-2016, I think, on all the irons. Completely different bike than like what I got now, which is an 18. From my understanding, it's not like a lot of changes, but they do got changes. And most manufacturers change thing every model year. So like that F-150 looks pretty close to the model year that mine is. Mine's a 2005. You got to pay attention to those sort of things because one bolt might not be in the correct position as another bolt type of thing. So here comes the rain again, falling in my head like a memory. You know, online you can learn a lot. Get a service manual for your bike, your car, so that when you're doing repairs, you know the parts and things like that. If you have a community college, you know, you could probably take courses on how to work on cars or motorcycles. Pretty sure cars would be more common. Start simple. Do things like oil changes. I mean, you need to check the fluids on your car anyways. You should get yourself comfortable with just the basic fundamental things like checking your fluids. Like I said, changing oil, doing oil changes. Those are pretty easy. I know it's different. I've got a truck, I've got a motorcycle. I don't need to jack these things up to do an oil change. My car, you kind of had to. One trick we would do, like one thing that I do with the Jeep, because it wasn't lifted very high, we'd right here on the curb, we'd jack it up on the part of the curb so that we could just back it right off when we were done, and have one wheel on the curb, the other off the sidewalk, and we would just crawl under and do the oil that way too. So that's one thing that helps. You can get the mounts and all that stuff. You can get all that stuff at AutoZone. It's easy stuff once you start getting to do it. And like I said, there's plenty of guides helping you online. You can watch YouTube videos. Tons and tons of people make content specifically just on repairing motorcycles and cars and repairing certain types of cars. And you can find tons of content learning how to do those things. But like I said, you want to make sure you take it with a grain of salt, just because it might not be very great information from time to time. As you can see, it is raining, so hopefully we don't fucking die like that Whitest Kid sketch. Wheel of Money.
Well, that show was fucking metal.
Let's pick them up for the fall season.
Everybody involved in the production is dead.
Then let's go to lunch.
I was mentioning some of the perks to working on your own vehicle. You know, the pride that what you did. When you are prideful of like what you've been doing and how you've been working and maintaining your own vehicle, it really adds up. It makes you want to make sure that that vehicle is taken care of and that really everything is consistently maintained and running well. You know, and that starts from the bottom up when it comes to working on your own car. I am not super knowledgeable about everything with my vehicle. When it comes to my truck and such, my brother still does major repairs for me. He used to be not very patient, so he would only walk me through so much. He would just be like, all right, so now you do this. And I'd do it, and he'd be like, all right, that took only 20 minutes to do something that should take 5. So now you do this. I'd do it, and he'd just be like, oh my god, I can't fucking handle it anymore, give me the tools. And he would just do it. But he's gotten a lot more patient since he's had children. If you are truly interested in working on your own vehicle, my brother's like, all right, let me show you how to do it. Same with Greg from Stupid Saturday.
It's Stupid Saturday, like what?
He is really helpful with like, okay, if you want me to do it, that's fine. But if you want to know how to do it, I'm going to make you do things. It works out really well. Also, I don't know what the hell's going on with my voice today, like my throat. It starts from the bottom, really. Like you do simple things to start out, like oil changes to bigger things, and next thing you know it, you're solely maintaining your vehicle. Like you would, as time goes on, you can learn how to do different things. Doing a lot of the aftermarket parts on this, it's pretty much just been me. And I can show you when we come to a stop, like a real stop, everything that I've f***ed up on. Also, I'm getting fucking soaked right now. I forgot to put my rain sock on. Straight up hydroplaning. That was scary. But I'm starting to get soaked, so we're gonna pull over and do this rain sock real quick. Well, I guess since we're doing this, I can show you. So the saddlebag support, that nut, I think we had to drill out. had to replace it with something else. Just get it real nice and tidy. So this right here, if you can see it, I screwed that up. I had bought a bikini fairing for it, and it was not working out for me. Put it on, couldn't get it off. We had to drill out one of the bolts, and so basically that is a custom thing. I say custom because I feel like it adds some character to the bike. My brother had to put it on and throw it together. So that's some of the pros to why you should go to someone else. But over time, like, I started learning how to maintain this thing a little bit better than I had ever done on any other vehicle. And so these mistakes are starting to be few and far between. And it's just practice. You build yourself up over time. Never had to mess with brake fluid, anything like that. When it comes time to do a handlebar swap, I'm sure I'll get some shit, but I'm probably just gonna go to Harley. And yes, it's something I could learn to do on my own. From my understanding, it's not too hard. This bike has ABS though, and I guess all you got to do to really change out the handlebars is just take out the main fuse when you do the whole swap. When it comes time to do the 1200 conversion kit, I'm gonna take it somewhere. So there's times where I'm like, I'm gonna do it by myself. I'm gonna learn how to do it. I'm gonna watch what guides online. We gonna do this the freaking Fury Rider way. But at other times I'm like, what are you, fucking stupid? That brings me to one of my closing points. You should always do what you feel comfortable doing. I know saving money is a really nice thing, but if you've got to replace the transmission, for example, and you don't know how to do it, take it somewhere. Get it done correctly. Do what is in your realm of skill. This is just my humble opinion. You can take it with a grain of salt. Again, at the end of the day, I feel that properly maintaining a vehicle on your own is an important life skill. Just doing the basics. And if you know how to work on cars completely, like you can repair things on your car, you can replace parts. From what I've seen, what I've done, it isn't hard. A lot of the time it's just time consuming. And it comes down to skill. There's certain things I won't touch just because certain parts are very intricate. I don't want to mess with them because I don't know how to do them. But if you know how, more power to you. I think I'm going to end it, guys. I'm more focused on getting home at this point. I covered all my talking points. It's getting dark on me. It's getting real dark on me. If you like the video, you want to see more like it, hit that subscribe button. If you want to be a part of the notification squad, hit that bell icon, smash the like button, and if you didn't like the video, leave a comment down below telling me why you didn't like it. And I'm soaking f***ing wet. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.